Hey everybody. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the support, the love, just the different connections that I've felt with you even over YouTube and through the newsletter and things as I've been on this journey. It's been really sweet to feel you and to receive your well wishes. And I'm here. I've been alone for a month. It just ended last night. My love joined me, and so I'm no longer a solo. For the moment, I'm no longer a solo van life traveler. Um, and I've just been feeling you all so much. And partly it's because the school is starting to gather, so I'm starting to feel who's coming and who's going to walk together. And it's a wider feeling for me, right? Um, but also, I've been paying attention to what this month has been like for me and pros and cons, and also just what it seems to have sparked in other women, and I wanted to speak to that because I think that you do not have to get a van and hit the road and have that be your destiny or even your possibility right now. I think in order to still be joined to whatever this journey has kind of sparked in you. So there are three takeaways I would say, at least that I'm going to focus on today. One is that what I realized I was in some ways most drawn to with this, and what I think actually, other than like the freedom and kind of the romance of it, and all those things are actually true, but it's something about this capsule of me where like it's this small space that has everything that I need, right? Food, place to pee, bed. The very few things that can fit in there are the very few things that I most need or want, or that are sacred to me, that are holding something for me, and that's it. And there's a way that, I know for myself, like what I needed more than anything was I needed to be alone, but I needed to be held and I needed to be supported. This was my version of it. And I came on this journey partly because I felt so poisoned by everything that was going on. I realized that I was not handling it well, that I know what's up. I know that there are a lot of poisons moving and that the task here is for me to not become them, right? And the way that, especially through social media and everything that's happening in this kind of the media sphere, it was like I was truly deeply losing faith, and I was losing any respect for humanity, and that's just true. I was and definitely losing any hope, and kind of constantly fighting my own arrogance, my own fears, my own everything, my own tendency to separate rather than to go deep and hold something wider, something bigger. I was losing my resilience in a big way, like enough to raise the red flag and enough that I changed everything, right? And what I found on this journey is that every single person has been kind. you know, my interactions with humanity, my actual interactions with humanity, most of them have been outside. Nevertheless, they've been kind, and often not even by my, I'm very intentionally opening human connection, just person to person as part of my journey here. But also, it's coming towards me. So I think I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I guess I would say one of my extra takeaways is that, we're all right. Many of us, despite what social media says, despite what the bigger media says, despite the hysteria, despite the kind of opportunity to be the lower and the lower aspects of ourselves, the way that that opportunity is being opened and the way that too many of us are falling into it and losing character. despite that, the appearance of that, I feel like there is, we're here. I'm here. We're here. We are, we're alive. We care about each other instinctually and by our nature, especially when we're put again face to face with each other. So there's been a bit of a repair for me in terms of my perspective on the world and on humanity. And to go back to the thing, I feel like probably everybody, but I would say women especially, we tend to be absorptive. Um, we tend to shapeshift. It's one of our gifts. It's also can be where we lose a lot of energy and lose ourselves. It's how we harmonize. We talk a lot about this kind of stuff in the school. We have these ways of being, and I would just so strongly invite you to be alone if you can, even for a little bit of time, and to understand that that has its own magic. And it's not always easy. Like this month, I brought myself somewhere beautiful. I brought myself somewhere where I would feel safe and where I could heal and repair, right? That was on purpose. That was a blessing. And still, this has been me reckoning with myself every day, right? Especially because I've taken myself out of all other stimulation and relationships and things. So, aloneness provides it insists upon a certain reckoning, right? But it gives the female being especially such an opportunity to return to who she really is. We are just so innately we are just so innately made to harmonize, to shape, to fit, to feel, to um, connect, that this aloneness is, for me, I can tell it was the only way that I was going to empty out of having taken in way too much poison. And it was the only way I was going to start to fill in a very depleted reservoir inside of myself. Aloneness and the companionship of pure elements and nature. So I want to acknowledge that's what I see and feel a lot in this when women get excited about the van, or they're like, wow, that's inspiring. Or um, I would say that I think what it kind of symbolizes is this return to an encapsulated sense of belonging wherever you are, and an encapsulated sense, a potentized sense of just your own essence. Everything in the van is something that I love. And what that means is I've been living in this kind of mirrored reflection of me and myself, but my essential self, right? And that I think there are many ways to do that, but to know that it is important and necessary, especially if we start to lose ourselves and um, lose ground as these times intensify. Oh, so those are two takeaways. I did have an oracular dream. I've had one oracular dream since I've been here. And I won't go into the dream fully. It was pretty profound, but the takeaway, like the way Jamila taught me to work with dreams, or that has multiple steps, and one of them is an action step. Like what are you trying to tell yourself through this dream? And based on this dream that involved a demon, it said, here's the takeaway, here's the message. Do not reach toward what you already know to be distorted. It will only use your reach to generate demons. Do not reach toward what you already know to be distorted. It will only use your reach to generate demons. And that's some heavy language in a way, but I've been able to watch it, right? I've been able to watch who I am, what I think, what I feel, what I believe, where my spirit is, very much based on whether or not I breach my own containment to reach out towards things that I already know are distorted. I let media in. I let the hysteria in. I let this in, this person in, this conversation, and I reach for it for various reasons. And then I've watched what it does. It doesn't give anything, nothing, So, and when I say that it generates demons, I mean, then I'm wrestling. I'm wrestling with panic. I'm wrestling with fear. I'm wrestling with despair. I'm wrestling with all these things. And there's something that's come really clear to me in this time. It has to do with protecting my mind. It has to do with protecting this vessel so that I can actually serve. In deep feminine way, we care about what we become. It's not about what we say. It's not about what we appear to be. And it's not about what we think we're doing. It's about what we become. And that goes all the way through. When you're a priestess every second of the day. It's not just when you're in ceremony or you're teaching or you're being seen. You walk hand in hand with the one who created you, and you're answerable every single moment for what you're thinking, not just what you do or what your intention was when you did the fruits of your actions, right? So in terms of the personal reckoning that I've been going through, it has had a lot to do with a real sobering experience of my choice to either reach again and again toward what I already know to be distorted and then deal with the consequences of that, or to reach toward something else. And it's amazing the addictions, the habit fields, the empty promises that seduce me into reaching toward the distorted. But it happens, it's happened. And I've watched it take me out for days. And then I've watched the opposite, where I start to really repair and I start to remember and I start to actually taste peace. And there's such a profound level of choice. And yes, I'm out in a van outside. It helps. It's been kind of important, right, to be on a certain amount of solitary retreat. But this choice point is one we all have. And I'm going to take it with me, and I'm going to take consciousness of it with me back when I'm interacting more, when I'm not here. This is the point of it. It's a lot. Her mystery school focuses on this a lot, and I feel like I'm getting a deeper teaching around it, which is, this point of choice. It's deeper than we imagined, and we violate it on our own way more often than we imagine. And I've gotten to watch that inside of myself. What was my third takeaway? My third takeaway is just that your destiny doesn't care about what's impossible. I want you to know, without telling you a whole lot of my personal story, how completely irrational and impossible it seemed to do this thing in this van. Short version, I was barely walking around the block. My body was collapsing again. I was not in a good place. I was not feeling strong. I was feeling vulnerable. I managed to put it together financially. I managed to do it, right? But I did it, the entire thing I did, in spite of the voice inside that is like, Jumana, who the fuck does this? This is not what somebody in your situation does, And I value so deeply that I could hear the guidance that was like, Jumana, get that, do that, go here, because it was strong and clear enough. And I've worked enough. I've been held enough. I've been in the school long enough to trust that voice. And it took something, right? And here on the other side, like, yeah, I'm doing better. I've been taken care of. I've come to nature, who I know to be the one true healer and the one who really remembers, right? So I just want to say that I would imagine we all have our version of this thing. This happens to be my version right now. And ease is not necessarily sometimes, sometimes it's easy, and I aim for that. I aim for a certain amount of effortlessness, but I worked for this, and I worked against a lot of things inside of myself to get here, and I had to suspend a lot of disbelief and a lot of fear. So in that, I guess I'm wanting to say, after a month of this and having kind of done it anyway, my deeper knowing was real. It was true. She was guiding me right. And I know that we all have that. That is deep feminine way. Honor the body. Honor the self-authority and the knowing that is within us always, because of course we were given a compass for this crazy, chaotic walk through distortion, illusion, and beauty, right? Of course we were. So those are some of my takeaways, you know, that I thought might be valuable for you, whether or not you're in a Sprinter van, whether or not you even want that, that one, that encapsulating your own essence, being alone, but being in a potentized place where your essence is being fed back to you is really important, and solves a lot of things on its own, you know. The other was that, the other was, please be careful about what you reach toward. You have a huge amount of choice, no matter what you think your life circumstances are. We have a lot of choice about what we put into our minds, in front of our eyes, and what we reach toward. And it is true that what we reach toward will always amplify. And once we're entangled in something, especially if we already know it to be distorted, we already know it is not good for us. Once we're entangled, we're dealing with that entanglement until it passes again. So that point of temple guardianship, that point of choice, I want to stand with you there. And I want to tell you that I am reckoning with my own habits and my own addictions that make me violate that place inside of me, and then lose touch with what I most need to be connected to, right? And that final bit was just that I really do believe that I know that your destiny has its own fulfillment inside of it. You move toward it, and it calls you, it will walk you, it will take you, but it is not easy necessarily, and it is not meant to be done without support. It is not meant to be done without kinship and companionship, and without fortification. So I want you to know that I do believe that the things that are impossible, that are in front of you, that you yearn for, or that you need, or that the voice inside keeps saying, like, do this, put this down, leave this place, go here, don't do this, that voice can be trusted. And the whole point of it is that it is beyond circumstance. It sees more than we do. An indwelling oracular guidance. Indwelling guidance. The point is, it's guidance. It guides you beyond what you know here, what you can imagine based on your limitations or your ideas about yourself, right? That is what indwelling guidance is. Something that lives inside of you, that sees more than you can see. So it asks again and again for us to basically listen and move. Listen again and move. Listen again and move, and start to navigate life from that place rather than from here, and rather than from all of this input from the outside. This is indwelling guidance. This is indwelling self-authority. And of all the things I feel like the world is trying to initiate us into right now, this is one of the biggest. You know what is right for you. You listen to that, and you are answerable to nothing else, always. And your destiny will speak to you from the inside. I know that it will. I'm watching it, and I'm with you in the scariness that is, the uncertainty that is, and the bravery that it takes. That doesn't even feel brave when it's happening, right? So I love you all, and I really do thank you so much for your sweet messages, and yeah, I'll stay in touch. I'm going to be in a little bit of a love bubble here now that I got my love here with me. It's been really sweet. The school starts on Monday. You are so welcome to join. 9 months we walk together. through basically all the things I was just talking about. um, and I'm just so grateful. I feel like I've been positioned right at the edge of my own reckoning, my own deepening with this work, and I'm really excited, and I feel so grateful that I'm gonna be walking in such good companionship through these things, because I'm definitely at a place of deepening, and yeah. Okay, so I hope you have beautiful day in front of you, night in front of you. If you feel daunted, I hope you feel fortified by this. I hope you let any sparks inside of you come into your own protection, that you protect the sparks that arise for you, whatever they are. Protect them from all other things that would dim them or um, deplete them. Blessed be.